What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another hunting boot camp. So today, going over 12 tips for teal season. So if you're just starting out teal hunting, or maybe you're fairly new or even experienced, hopefully a couple of these tips will help you be more successful in the field this upcoming season. So let's just get to it. The first tip, and I start most of these tip videos with this, is scouting, because scouting is very important. You need to know what's out there. You need to know what the birds are doing, where they're going, all that good stuff. So scouting is very important. For teal, you can do a couple kinds of scouting. Right now, be watching the weather. Watch for any big cold fronts that are coming through. That's going to start pushing them birds south. I know I've already been out scouting around the area here, and there are some teal actually out there, and more are actually showing up each week. So they're starting to move, but keep an eye on the weather. You get a big cold front, they're going to start moving even more en masse, and you'll have more luck hopefully scouting. Now, areas to scout, you're going to want to look at those shallow wetland type areas, marshes, stuff like that, and then look for that flooded aquatic vegetation. That's what teal really like to eat. And if, because of all the flooding this year, I know there's a ton of water over a lot of people's teal holes, you're going to want to look for at least exposed mud flats that those birds can get around and filter in. But those are just a few things to look for, and I'll do a more in-depth scouting video here in a week or so. But that's just a really general idea of what to scout for when you're looking for teal. So the next tip is come prepared, and you should be doing this for all your hunting, fishing, whatever trips outdoors. Always be prepared for teal season. It can be hot, there's going to be a lot of bugs. It can be a little cool depending on where you hunt, but always be prepared. So maybe wear layers, maybe a light sweatshirt or something if you're concerned about it being a little chilly. Bring sunscreen if you're hunting afternoon, or even in the morning if you plan on hunting till noon or something. Bring bug spray or a thermocell so you don't have to deal with mosquitoes or ticks. It's still summer, the bugs are still out in full force, and you're going to go sit in a marsh or shallow water area where there are a ton of them. So you definitely want to be prepared. Probably bring some water too, because it can get hot. It's just really basic stuff, but it does merit a mention. So the next tip is be early. Especially if you're hunting public land, you should be early anyways. But if you're hunting private, you still want to be really early. Teal fly first light. Usually they're before shooting light, they're going to be in your decoys. So you want to be set up and ready before the teal start to fly. And also, you don't have that long a window. A majority of your action for teal is going to be in the first few hours of the morning, and then it's going to kind of die off. Not to say you can't shoot them at 9 or 10 or later, but first thing in the morning is going to be your best bet. So the next tip is be ready. You want to make sure that you're ready to go, because teal are going to fly very erratically. They'll just come in big balls and dive bomb your decoys, and then they'll pick back up and disappear, and you don't know what happened. Sometimes they'll come back, sometimes they won't. So you want to make sure you make the most of your opportunities. And if you have a shot, make sure you try and take it, because you might not get another one. It's a lot of situational awareness, but if you're ready, you're keeping your eyes peeled, you're probably going to end up with a few more teal in your bag. So the next tip is Camel Up. This isn't as big a deal for teal as it is for like mallards or geese. Those birds are a lot more wary than teal tend to be, but it still is good practice, and it's just one less thing that the birds can see. So put some face paint on, wear a face mask, tuck up into some standing vegetation, or make a little blind. Whatever you can work with, try to at least break up your form, break up anything that might shine, and you'll have better luck on opening day. The next tip, and this is a very important tip, because if you don't follow this one, you might lose your teal season, is be sure it's a teal. Teal ID is very important. You're hunting solely 3 species, cinnamon, blue wing, and green wing teal. Make sure it's one of those 3 before you pull the trigger. That's just basic gun safety, basic hunting safety as well. But for teal season, it is very important, absolutely critical, that you are 100% without a doubt that is a teal, because there's other duck species in the area that could look like a teal. It could be a wood duck or a shoveler. Those are the 2 most commonly misidentified birds during teal season, and they both get shot. And if too many get shot, your state could lose your teal season. So be sure it's a teal. Make sure you're not shooting other species. The next tip is use teal decoys. Now, if you use hen mallard decoys or hen whatever decoys, I'm not saying that doesn't work. It definitely can, but for the best results, you want to use teal decoys. For whatever reason, I don't know if it's the way the shape of the decoy is, but we've had the best results using solely teal decoys, and there's something to be said about that realism factor. I know some guys might not agree with this, but I believe in this wholeheartedly. Be as realistic as possible, and that's why we run solely teal decoys. Now, if you have other ducks in the area that kind of hang out with the teal, feel free to include those. You know, you might have some early season pintails or shovelers or wood ducks or mallards even. Throw some of them out too, just as a confidence decoy, but try to be as realistic as possible and use teal decoys if you can afford it. If not, like I said, you can get by with mallard decoys, but teal decoys are going to be your better bet. So speaking of decoys, this is probably the most important decoy you can own if you're a teal hunter, and that is a spinning wing decoy. So go out, if you don't have one, get you a spinning wing decoy. It doesn't even have to be a teal. Obviously that's probably going to be your best option, but a mallard or a dove will work in a pinch as well. It's just the motion, the way those wings spin. They absolutely love them, and it just sucks the teal in. It's probably one of the most important things you can have as a teal hunter. So the next tip is decoy spread size. So one of the great things about teal hunting is you don't need a ton of decoys to pull them in. Last year I got by with just 9 decoys, including my Mojo, and it worked great. Obviously, if you can get a few more, might help out. What you really want to determine your decoy size from, though, is your scouting. So you go out and you see how big the groups of birds are, and that's what you're going to base your decoy spread size on. Also, probably how many decoys you have, but you probably only need 1 to 2 dozen tops pulling teal, if that. The next tip is all about teal calls. So you're going to want one or both of these two things here. The first of which is just a duck whistle, and you can do all kinds of different things. You can do a mallard, you know, just for an example. But what you want this for is for the teal, and the teal whistle is really simple. It's just, and that's it. This is just the Duck Commander 6-in-1 whistle. There are a lot of awesome whistles out there. They're not very expensive at all. So definitely get you a duck whistle just for teal season and duck season. And then you have the teal call. This is the Duck Commander teal call. This is the best one that I have found. I've had a couple other ones that didn't really sound the best. So got this one. Absolutely love the sound it makes. Just and you don't need to overcall them. Just kind of imitate what you hear the teal sound like, especially if they're sitting on the water before shooting light. Make that sound, try to imitate it. Listen to some videos of how a teal sounds. You don't have to highball them or, you know, be too aggressive with them. Just kind of let the decoys do the work and let the call kind of finish them off. Definitely go out and get you one, if not both of these. So the next tip is all about guns and ammo for teal. And right here is my teal gun and also my dove and upland gun. It is a Remington 870 youth model. I just like it because it swings so easily. It's got a short barrel, and that's what you want. You want something that swings easily. You want something that you can get on targets quick, like, because teal are really erratically flying. So something like that. If you have a gun like that, you know, and just you gotta practice with it too. But this thing, I've used it for years, so I'm really comfortable with it, and it works. It works really good. So I run an improved choke in this. That's because the teal are going to be really close range. I would say improved or modified, those are going to be your two best bets for teal, just because the range that they like to come in, they bomb in, and then you get a bigger spread on your pattern. So improved or modified chokes, just a gun you can swing easily. And then as far as ammo, I always run just 4-shot. I'm going to try some 6s this year just to see if maybe it gives me a little better pattern. But 4s or 6s still, of course, and you really can't go wrong. Whatever brand you choose is up to you. But that's pretty much all there is for the guns and ammo. Something that swings easily, a more open pattern choke, and 4s or 6s, so you have a better pattern, more BBs in your pattern. And finally, this is probably one of the toughest things for new hunters, especially new teal or duck hunters, to do, is to avoid flock shooting. You want to stay on your target, pick out one individual bird, and just follow it along until it goes down, and then you can go over to the next bird. And even, you know, even seasoned veterans sometimes have this issue. Your eyes get big and you're like, oh, there's a big flock, I'm gonna get a couple at a time. Just pick out one bird and you'll shoot more consistently, and you'll see more birds in your bag. But that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave me a thumbs up. Always helps me out. Drop a comment. Let me know what your thoughts were, guys. Did I miss anything for teal season? Let me know down below. Subscribe if you haven't already so you stay up to date with the latest hunting boot camps. One more left, guys. One more, and then it'll be dove season, and then a week later, teal season up here. So it's almost over. The long hunting drought is almost done. So one more hunting boot camp. That'll be teal related as well. And then we'll be out in the fields doing some dove hunt, some teal hunting, and then eventually duck hunting. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, hit the little bell right next to it so you never miss when a new video drops, and we'll catch you out there, guys. See ya.